Welcome to TMZ Live. I want to start with full disclosure. I am so angry at myself for being triggered by what Tucker Carlson said last night with Michael Knowles on Tucker's podcast, questioning, doubting whether Pete Buttigieg is gay. It is offensive to me, but also it's so obvious what they're doing in my head, which is just they're trolling. And I am biting the bait because I'm mad about it, and we're actually starting our show with it. So I want to show you what Tucker and Michael said, and then we're going to bring one of them on to drill down on this. And honestly, I'm nervous at the way I'm going to handle this. This is what they said.
I don't know Pete Buttigieg.
The fake gay guy?
I have a friend who thinks he's a fake gay. Or is his favorite conspiracy
my gay
theory.
producer was always like, he's not gay. He was with a girl like 20 minutes ago, and like he wants to be the Democratic nominee. It's like time for a gay guy.
It's playing the long game. I mean, that's going down. Look.
Well, it's suffering for your art. I'll say that.
Just because I don't know him, I know 100 Pete Buttigiegs. I know this character.
Oh, I do too.
And he went to the elite school, and then he goes to McKinsey, and then he does the checks. And I think
then find some benighted Midwestern town that he can just like become mayor of.
Plop, I'm a mayor.
I've always wanted to interview him. He's never agreed to interview, but I'm going to ask him like some very specific questions about gay sex and see if he can even answer. I doubt he even knows.
Where does?
Yeah, no, totally.
I don't.
I'm not gay, dude. Stop.
Okay, they obviously know what's going on. They know this is trolling. They know it's ridiculous. But there are people that are going to latch on to this and for some reason say they believe it and it matters and it makes a difference. And there is such hypocrisy in it. But at my peril, my great peril, I'm going to bring in Michael Knowles, who was part of this cabal on Tucker's show yesterday. Michael, grudgingly welcome back to TMZ Live.
Harvey, I want to say it out front. Tucker is the one who said that Pete is not gay. I was there.
You were on that Access Hollywood bus, dude.
Okay, now listen. It's not just Tucker. I have a very good friend of mine who is a card-carrying homosexual.
Oh, what is that?
I'm not saying I agree with them.
My God, you use those words?
He's a homosexual in good standing, and he actually told me this even before Tucker did. He says he doesn't think that Pete Buttigieg is gay. Now, I don't know. I take him at his word. My friend's argument is that he said no real homosexual would be attracted to Chasten Buttigieg, and that Pete has bad aesthetic taste.
This is so, that's such
It's not my opinion.
It's
his opinion.
Okay, number one, it's a low blow. Number two, who are you guys to say who somebody falls in love with? And number three, and this is my biggest point, if you want to talk about fake stuff, you can talk about all the guys who feel the pressure or just want to get, quote, married to a woman, but they're actually gay. And you know that exists a lot in America. And you know that, Michael. You know that.
Regardless of what my friend, and I got to give him credit, Spencer Clavin, that was his theory at first, and then regardless of what Tucker says, I am not ascribing to the theory. I take Pete Buttigieg at his word that he likes the fellas. But it actually gets to the point you just made, Harvey, which is, yes, for a long, long time, guys who had a slightly different attraction might just try to go along with the cultural milieu. And,
Still happens. Still happens, by the way.
Well, I guess the argument here that Tucker and my friend Spencer are making, which is somewhat persuasive, is that now we live in this flipped culture where if you're a Democrat politician, just put yourself in the shoes of one of these guys, bright, top school, going to go to McKinsey, whatever, and you want to be the big hit in the Democrat Party. These days, if you're a straight white male, you are dead in the Democrat Party. You need to get some kind of oppression point. And so my friends have argued, not me.
Dude, Gavin Newsom is at the top of the Democratic Party. You've got J.D. Pritzker, who is part of the Democratic Party.
Pritzker, come on. Newsom, I'll give you. But the rest, it's women, it's people of color, it's LGBT.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about AOC. I'm talking about Kamala. I'm talking about the entire squad.
God
I'm talking about Nancy
God forbid
Pelosi.
somebody should be black. Oh, Nancy Pelosi's a woman, and she.
Joe Biden said he would pick only a vice president who was a black woman.
I understand that.
They should have an discrimination investigation.
You are deflecting, dude. Am I gay?
Well, listen, I take your word for it, Harvey.
Why do you take my word and not Pete's word?
Because you're not running for the Democrat nomination for president.
Okay, I'm going to do this hypothetically, and this is why I'm mad at myself, because I should not go down this rabbit hole, but I'm gonna. If you were an elite student, military guy who wanted to put on this ruse,
yes,
would you start your career running for mayor in a small town in Indiana? You think that's going to get him votes? Isn't it easier to get elected if you're not in so many ways, especially when he got elected?
Harvey, no joke. If I were a young man trying to run for the Democrat nomination around this time, I would try to come up with something. I actually know some of these guys like Pete Buttigieg who would pretend.
You are trying to make bosom buddies come to life.
I'm trying to tell you I don't ascribe to the theory, but I knew a guy.
You guys were laughing about giving him a test. Come on.
I knew a guy, and this is no joke, from the time I was in college. This guy was straight as could be. He was dating a bunch of women, but he wanted to seem hip and cool. This was probably around like 2012, and he defined himself as non-heterosexual. And the broader point, beyond Pete and Chase and Buttigieg or whatever, the broader point is, where are the incentives in the culture right now, especially in the Democratic Party, which is where they're running? The crazy thing is, it used to be that you'd have to hide if you had a kind of weirder sexual view, and you'd try to pretend to be all straight-laced and everything.
Weirder sexual view.
Opposite.
You're saying a weirder sexual view. Maybe take the word weird out, that people are different.
Harvey, it's uncommon. I'm not trying to use polemical language here,
you're not only saying it's common, you're saying it's all the rage. I mean, that's what you're saying.
It absolutely is all the rage.
Then who are the two leading candidates that people are talking about for the Democratic presidential nominee in 2028? Who are the two people?
Biggest ones? The two biggest ones are Gavin Newsom,
yes.
I'll grant you. He is Patrick Bateman, American Psycho, straight white man, no doubt about it, and AOC. And there's the which way.
J.D. Pritzker is mentioned. Come on.
Pritzker, give me a break.
No
chance.
That. It doesn't matter whether
this is the coalition of the ascendant, the people of color, the straight white men are evil in the Democrat Party. Absolutely. Come on, you can't deny that.
Yes, I can deny that. That I don't think people are picking people because, I want a gay president. They're not.
You don't think Democrats care about identity politics, Harvey? You don't believe that? That's crazier than the Pete Buttigieg thing by a long shot.
Really? Because I think that they've realized that identity politics has ruined them, and that people need to be viewed as people. And I think they're moving away from it because they got their asses kicked. That's what I think.
Well, I think it would be smart if they did that, but I don't know. I see them elevating the Mamdanis of the world, the extreme socialist identity politics left, pushing radical LGBT identity. I think you might like that to happen.
I don't think they're pushing radical. I mean, Gavin Newsom.
Zoran Mamdani said queer liberation.
Gavin Newsom has, now all of a sudden they're coming out and saying, no, we don't want transgender women in women's sports. Well, you know what? They're kind of jumping on that bus now. So I think they're going the opposite direction you're saying. But the
Newsom side is, yes, I agree. The Newsom side is, but Zoran Mamdani is talking about queer liberation for Palestine. So, it's clearly, it's bifurcating, it's cutting both ways. And my point is, Pete Buttigieg, this is one of the nicest things I'll say about him. He is sociopathically ambitious. He's an amazing careerist in politics. And
Donald Trump isn't. Huh.
No, Donald Trump is he's the great political figure of our era. But Buttigieg, look, he went from being nobody to being mayor of a small town to being the transportation secretary.
Right.
He was on his way to being president.
Right.
And my point is, again, I trust his sexual desires as he states them. But I think he follows incentives very well. And I think the Democrat
I don't get the butt part.
I
don't get the butt part. You could put a period instead of a butt. That's ridiculous. Hey, what do you think about outing people? Good idea, bad idea?
Outing them as straight?
Outing them as gay.
I totally
outing them. No, what do you
disavow Tucker for that. He should not out Pete as straight.
What do you think about outing gay people?
No, I think people shouldn't discuss their sexual views all that much in public.
Well, Tucker is doing that.
He's reverse outing him.
It's still.
And you're saying that's no big deal.
By
your standard, you're saying that would be good for Pete.
He's wrong and it's dumb, but he's trying to out somebody. You can out both ways. It's
He's
not
trying to
just a
in him.
one-way street.
You can't go out both ways, Harvey. You got to go. If you go out one way, you go in the
You
other
were
way.
you were assuming he was in before he was out. And that doesn't necessarily mean he was. He could always have been the person he was, but he had to play the game growing up and then eventually became who he is. But it's not an issue of coming out once you're in. It really isn't.
But Tucker is saying he was out before he was in, and it's also, I mean, like I can't believe that I'm like the spokesman for this now. But what
Well, you
Spencer
are.
and Tucker, I think, are pointing out is
You should have told him.
Pete came
you
out
should have
later in
told
life.
him, knock it off, Michael. Come on. Well, you should
I
have.
should say, do not. I say, Tucker, stop. Do not in Pete Buttigieg. He might be the nominee at this rate in 2028, and he'd be really easy to beat. You're right. That's a good point. You're right. I should be promoting Pete as best I can. I take a mea culpa for that, and he is not going to be the nominee if he comes out as a straight guy. So, okay, that's fair. I agree.
I'm going to make an admission. I feel utterly defeated that I just devoted all this time with you to this when I know I shouldn't have, and I know I shouldn't have been triggered, and I know it shouldn't have pissed me off. And in that sense, you win, and I hate myself for it.
Well, on that chipper note, Harvey, great to see you again, 2 days in a row. What theory should I come up with next week?
We'll see you next week.
See
Maybe
you later.
maybe 2 weeks.
Coming up.
Sydney Sweeney is the best marketer. American Eagle had one of its biggest years ever. Their earnings were double what they expected on Wall Street. She leaned into the controversy, she took criticism, and now she is the best marketer.
Be right back.
I gotta say, Sydney Sweeney is the best marketer in America. She is better than any other celebrity, hands down. And it is paying off now for other companies, not just American Eagle. But before I tell you about the other company, gotta say, American Eagle had one of its biggest years ever because of Sydney Sweeney and because of that ad that was controversial, but it just landed with people. Their earnings were double what they expected on Wall Street. Their earnings generally have increased, stock prices have increased. That ad, what we call it in marketing, is it moved the needle, but it moved it in a really big way. Sydney Sweeney can move product. And because of that, it is unsurprising that she has now ventured out. Jimmy Choo, one of the most famous shoe designers in the world, is now using Sydney Sweeney as its ambassador. And this is the Jimmy Choo ad. And who better to market Jimmy Choo shoes than one Sydney Sweeney? I mean, she is bigger now at marketing, I think, than she is in acting.
Well, totally. And I mean, she's talked about it, that everything she does, she said in an interview, is intentional. She clearly knows what she's doing. And like, I mean, her jeans at American Eagle, like the specific Sydney Sweeney jeans, sold out in a day.
Right.
So, I mean, that just shows you right there. You already mentioned all the numbers that the company has done.
Right.
So it's like, at this point, I mean, she's probably just getting flooded, right? With every company, like how does she even
every
choose
company
at this
in
point?
America would want Sydney Sweeney. And what you got to realize too is her price, whatever she got from American Eagle, I mean, her price, she's probably making more than she could possibly make as an actress.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, a lot of people like kind of talk trash about her not being a very good actress, but as far as ads, like, I mean, she could go on and not do acting anymore and just be a spokesperson for companies.
Acting should be her side hustle. It should be her side hustle. Not only is she making money, I wouldn't be surprised if now companies are coming to her saying, not only will we give you a lot of money up front, but we'll give you a piece of the profit we make as a result of the ad campaign.
There's tons of hot people out there. What makes her different?
Because
that's what I don't understand.
What makes her different is it's the controversy, is that the American Eagle ad was controversial, that a lot of people thought it was a dog whistle about Aryans, and that you could take it both ways. And American Eagle knew this.
But wouldn't that turn a lot of people off?
Yeah, but it sells. Controversy sells. Nobody would have been talking about American Eagle if they didn't do that. If it was just, oh, look at me in my jeans. Nobody would have done it. She did it, and she owned it. and people were critical of her, but everybody talked about it. And in the process, they looked at the American Eagle jeans. Now it doesn't matter. Sydney Sweeney makes a difference. That's the way people look at it. So she leaned into the controversy, she took criticism and leaned in, and now she is the best marketer. Pick any athlete, I don't care who you pick, Sydney Sweeney is on top.
Brooke from Scottsdale, and the Sydney Sweeney hate just makes me laugh. I mean, it's Hollywood, for crying out loud. And you know what? She is good looking. She looks good modeling. I don't know why all the haters feel the need to be up in her business, nitpicking her photo shoots, picking on her ads.
But you know, can I stop you? You're missing something. She loves the haters. The haters make people look, and that's what has made her absolutely top of the heap. That's why she's so popular right now, because people got all upset about the American Eagle ad. The NFL season kicks off tonight. Tomorrow night, the Chiefs are going to play the Chargers in Brazil. So, Travis Kelce is in Brazil, and you got to look at this, man. Travis Kelce, coming off the plane, gets mobbed by Brazilians. I mean, he is a full-on rock star. He's a rock star in America and was before Taylor Swift. But that is having the Swiftie effect, no doubt about it. And I gotta say, he is now an international star. Anywhere he goes, he is gonna get that reception. So they kind of asked him about it during a press conference. And again, it's the beginning of the season, but all people wanted to talk about was Taylor Swift.
Ever since I've been dating Taylor, life has been fun. It's been exciting. Obviously, a lot more eyes, and I accept that. But it's just, I'm living life. Living on a high. I guess.
Dream, dude.
Yeah.
Is this the last dance?
For who? For me? Man, it's the last one on the contract right now. But I'll tell you what, I'm feeling young and I'm feeling ready to rock, baby.
Look how loose that shirt is, man.
We shouldn't really be too surprised about this, though, because the way Taylor describes Travis, the way Jason describes Travis, that he just is a ball of energy, loves people, loves hanging out. You saw in that video of him at the airport, he's giving people high fives, he's got a big smile on his face. There's some athletes who get to a certain level and they, don't talk to the fans, they think they're like too cool for that and everything, but Travis embraces it. He
but
loves
also
it.
That's not Taylor. It wouldn't be.
Any Chiefs game that she goes to and you see the little fans going up to her asking for autographs, she stops for everybody. So that in that regard, they are perfect for each
to me,
other.
the big deal of this is just that this will happen to Travis anywhere in the world now.
Oh, yeah.
That he is now a certified rock star.
Taylor went everywhere for the Eras Tour, and, there were just insane crowds for that. They're both global
He's the most
superstars.
famous athlete in the world.
Yeah.
He's the most famous athlete in the world.
In this exact moment right now.
He is the most famous athlete
the
in
most
the world.
trending, the most popular right now, but
the most famous athlete in the world.
I'm Hansa, I'm from Southern California, and I feel that Travis is basically being mobbed also because of the fact that they have just announced the engagement. It's the biggest news, the very fact that the podcast went live and then had 20 million views. It just broke Guinness records. I think that's an amazing achievement. So Travis comes across as a very likable guy, and the fact that he's engaged to the biggest pop star in the world, that just breaks all the excitement, and he's going to be in news for a lot of time.
Yeah, no, it's going to last. It may last a lifetime. I got to show you something. Come on over here. I'm so proud of these guys. Branson and Roger have started a wrestling podcast for TMZ, and it has gone crazy. Everybody in the wrestling world is following it, including Jelly Roll.
Yes. We've had a lot of guests so far. We're at 10 episodes in.
We are in.
We've had Matt Riddle, Matt Cardona.
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt Hardy. We've also had several other.
Talk about Jelly Roll.
Yeah, sorry. So this has been going great, but it's now gotten the attention of some celebrities, including Jelly Roll. And Jelly Roll is no stranger to the business. He's been
in the ring.
He's been in the ring, but he went on our Instagram today to the TMZ Inside the Ring Instagram page, and he commented, "New favorite podcast."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Literally, they've done 2 months of this. And
1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
Actually, less than a month. Tomorrow's a month. Less than a month.
And these guys are like hardcore. By the way, the belt courtesy of Dax Holt, who used to work at TMZ, who now has a trophy company, and he made the belt. One of the wrestlers stole it from Branson, and somehow Branson was able to actually strong arm it back.
Yes, Cora Jade came on our podcast last week, and she wanted to be the first TMZ champion, so she took it from me. I didn't fight back, because that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to fight a woman. So she took it from me, and she declared herself the first TMZ champion.
That's why. That's why. By the way, she would have kicked your ass.
Okay, well, that's relative. She's shorter than me. Are you kidding me?
She would have kicked your ass.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about it. But currently, it's up for grabs, so whoever comes in next could be the person.
Coming up.
All hail to Conor McGregor. He wants to be president of Ireland. This is ripped from the Donald Trump playbook.
But as your head of state, you empower me to enter these buildings on your behalf.
Be right back.
All hail to Conor McGregor, President Conor McGregor, if he has his way, because he wants to be president of Ireland. You can laugh if you want. You know Conor McGregor, the UFC star, former champion, big personality, gotten in a lot of trouble over the years. He wants to be president of Ireland, and he's serious about it. This is what he posted, and it is a speech that he gave in front of Parliament explaining why Ireland needs him.
We have seen the homelessness of Irish children risen to levels unprecedented. This incompetent failure of future generations has been accompanied with an intense influx of mass migration into an already severed system. Our tourism has sharply declined, while danger on our streets has risen. Ireland, as a master of martial combat, a solution-driven man, you will hear me speak on a problem but once, then it is action towards solution. I urge all our citizens to be of the same. Today, Ireland, I am outside these gates of these appointed officials, but as your head of state, you empower me to enter these buildings on your behalf.
So this is ripped from the Donald Trump playbook. Immigration, crime, homelessness. I mean, everything Donald Trump used to win, Conor McGregor is using. And you say, well, how can somebody who punches people in bars, has all these accusations against him, how could somebody like that become president of Ireland? 4 criminal prosecutions in the United States, civil judgments against him, or a big civil judgment against him, although one was overturned, and on and on and on. Yet Donald Trump became president not just once, but twice. So he is using that. There are obstacles because in order to qualify to run, you need to get a certain number of people in government to support you, to sign on. And the people in government over there don't like Conor McGregor. But if that can happen, if he can get those votes, I don't know, I think he can connect to the public.
I will say this. When have you seen Conor McGregor appear this serious before?
Never.
Ever. And when he is kind of this serious or doing serious things, he's usually poking fun at his opponents, right? He's talking trash. He's making fun of them. He's saying things that are derogatory. This is the most serious I've seen him, which perhaps relates a little bit more to the Irish people. Maybe that's the goal here.
But the thing is, they've done a poll, and he's not doing well.
He's so disliked there. He is so disliked.
Now, I mean, he's only got like 9%. But there was a time when Conor McGregor was the most popular person in Ireland.
Yeah.
And so when Donald Trump first ran, I believe it was either 9 or 11% of voters supported him, or Republicans supported him. And then he started debating, and then all of a sudden, the train started going out of the station, and then eventually it was just rolled over everybody. So just because he's got single digits now doesn't mean that it couldn't, because that's what's happening in Europe, folks.
It's a tough hill to climb, though. I spoke with somebody. Do you remember the civil case that he was found liable for assault just a couple months ago at this point? Somebody in his team said they thought that the jury only found him liable because they just hated him so much.
Which is what Donald Trump said when there was a judgment against him. I mean, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
And so you can't ignore the fact that he is using the Donald Trump playbook. And in some ways, he is the Ireland version of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump became president not once, but twice.
2 words says Conor does not have the star power that he used to. He's been MIA in the UFC for a good while.
Donald Trump was, had a huge hit show. It wasn't as much of a hit as the years rolled on. So when Donald Trump decided to emerge in 2015, his show, it wasn't a big deal. And I believe even he had left the show. So same thing. Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, he lost the presidency, lost the governorship, retreated, but then became president again.
Hey guys, Jared Zisser, San Diego. You're totally right. This is literally ripped from the playbook of Donald Trump. And not just the strategy, but also the falsehoods. If you actually look at statistics in Ireland, yes, tourism dropped about 2% in July, but violent crimes actually dropped by 30% in July. The one thing that he's saying is true is there is.
Wait a minute. You're talking about crime dropping in Ireland?
Yes.
Well, guess what? Crime dropped in Washington, D.C. Trump still called in the National Guard, and now the mayor is saying it's a good thing. So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, and that's the thing. And that's why he has a chance of getting elected if he can get these 20 seats to sponsor him, or I think it's his 30% base to be able to get on the ballot.
Yeah. Coming up. So the LAPD is still investigating this brutal, vicious, I think, criminal attack at the hands of Raja Jackson. His dad, the Rampage Jackson, he started talking about what he thinks the future should hold for his son, Raja Jackson. And it's pretty stunning.
Be right back.
So the LAPD is still investigating this brutal, vicious, I think, criminal attack at the hands of Raja Jackson in a wrestling ring a couple of weeks ago. He almost killed Psycho Stu with this vicious, vicious pummeling. He had to be pulled off. Psycho Stu went to the hospital for days. He's out now. To me, this is attempted murder. I don't see any way around it. But his dad, who is a famous former UFC fighter, Rampage Jackson, he has said things over the years about having kids that, some of them, he's put money away for their college. For Raja, he put money away for bail. So he seemed to know what was coming. He was on the Ariel Helwani show the other day. And he started talking about what he thinks the future should hold for his son, Raja Jackson. And it's pretty stunning.
Raja, I think that he should do a little time, do a little community service, and go to anger management class, see some therapy.
But that goes like some people said it was attempted murder and things like that. That's not a little time.
It wasn't attempted murder because he wasn't trying to kill that guy.
How do you know?
Because that's my son. I know my son. Raja wasn't trying to kill nobody. People thought that Raja snuck into the ring and did that. That's what the problem is. Like, at this point, Raja was in the act as a pro wrestler, but he ain't no pro wrestler. The promoters had no reason putting my son in that ring.
I gotta say, I disagree with Rampage.
Does it even matter if he was trying to kill? I mean, those actions
you do need to show some intent. But
if you punch a guy 22 times with heavy shots, an unconscious person, I mean,
I agree with you.
Right?
I agree with you. I think
he's not a kid. He's 25 years old, Raja.
I agree with you.
Right?
He is, and this whole BS that somebody is a kid when they're 25.
Right.
Their brain is barely developed.
No.
Bull.
Or Harvey, that he's not a professional wrestler, so he doesn't know that that's not what you're supposed to do.
It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Yeah. And if you allow something like this, even to call it felony battery, his hands are lethal weapons.
He's an MMA fighter himself. He's not his dad, but
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's an MMA fighter. His hands are lethal weapons, and he is unleashing punch after punch to the face on an unconscious man.
Right.
And if that's not attempted murder,
what is?
What is 22 hits?
Right.
So the LAPD, my question is, Why is it
Right.
taking
This
so long
has
for
been
the
now
LAPD?
2.5 weeks since
I mean, there's
this happened.
video of this.
Right. It happened 2.5 weeks ago. What we have been told from our law enforcement sources is that they have still many people to talk with, that there are still people they want to interview, and that it's difficult because it's a wrestling show, so they have to try and determine what's fake, what's real, what's staged, what's not. You know what I mean? So that adds a layer of complexity to it. But it's bottom line, it's been 2.5 weeks.
Okay, they know this part is not staged.
Right. No, absolutely.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter what happened before. What matters is when he slams him to the ground. By the way, that slam was not a wrestling move.
You're supposed to put them down. You want the back to take a lot of the
He was
impact.
slammed on
He
his
slammed
head.
on his head.
What our viewers are wondering is, if there were cops there at the time, he would have been arrested, obviously, on the spot.
He was allowed to leave that night.
I guess the reason, to me, the reason is the cops see the line blur, that there is a performative act going on, and then all of a sudden these punches, and I kind of understand. He's going to be charged with either felony battery or attempted murder. And I got to tell you, we got a DA that is gunning for things like this, Nathan Hochman. So I think Raja is in trouble.
I do too.
Hi, I'm Kyron, and I'm in Columbus, and I'm in agreement with Harvey. This is bad. Like, you don't really see too many celebrity parents saying that their children deserve jail time, so I think that's something different. I do think that something needs to happen. I've never seen nothing like that, and I think a lot of people were shocked because they didn't help the guy immediately because they just couldn't believe that he just kept going and going and
I think
going,
you're right.
so-
They couldn't believe it. And had he not been pulled off, Psycho Stu would be dead. So you know Jessica Alba and Cash Warren are getting divorced. This is kind of an interesting situation. So they are both members. My guess is, since they were a couple, they were married when they joined this place. It's called the Bird Street Club. It's a very exclusive, members-only club in Hollywood where lots of celebrities go. And I'm sure they joined as a package. Well, now they're no longer a package. And last night, Jessica Alba showed up earlier in the evening, left, and then, lo and behold, Cash Warren is there with a very pretty blonde woman. And it kind of raises the issue of the awkwardness when everybody has their favorite place. When they're together, they break up. Does somebody get the favorite place and the other person can't go there? Do they suck it up? Or should they even care if they run into the soon-to-be ex?
I feel like, and especially when you share kids with somebody, you can't care because obviously you're around your ex at other points in time. You have to co-parent, you have to do things with your kids. So who cares if you end up at the same bar, especially when you're dating other people? Jessica has been with Danny Ramirez. He's hot as all get out, so I don't think she's really worried or concerned.
But I don't think it matters. I think there's I think the thing is, there's a natural reaction when you see the person you want.
Who introduced you to the restaurant first? Because if that's
I don't
the
think
case,
it matters. I think they can both go, but you can't say to them, you shouldn't feel jealous, you shouldn't feel hurt. You're gonna feel a little bit, but you just got to deal with it.
Why? Why are you gonna?
I mean, I get it, but I think a lot of people have a natural reaction when they see somebody who's moved on, even if they've moved on too. They always have that. I mean, people in our office talk about this all the time. But, you know, even if you have that reaction, you got to suck it up and you just got to say.
Well, that I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, you got to suck it up.
Move on.
But, you know, there are people in our office who say, no, one person gets the restaurant, the other person can't go. It's ridiculous.
Hi, I'm Griselle from El Paso, Texas. I think Jessica Alba running into her ex-boyfriend is so relatable to all of us. It happens to the best of us. And honestly, I'm just relieved Jessica managed to dodge a potentially awkward moment. And she did it with a very stylish dress. She looks great.
She did look great. She did look great.
She managed the whole situation.
But if she ran into him, is that really a bad thing? You got to get used to it, right? I mean, you got to get used to it. You're going to see pictures of it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just say this is my spot. You have to handle it with grace and be very, just respect the other person's place. And I think she did it very well.
Listen to Luke Bryan's All My Friends Say. That's a song that says it all.
Coming up.
Justin Bieber has dropped another album just about a month after the first. I don't remember an artist doing this where they dropped the second of the same album.
It seems very sudden and soon.
Be right back.
So I don't remember seeing this, but Justin Bieber has dropped another album just about a month after the first. He dropped Swag in July, and he just dropped Swag 2. And
Well, he's going to drop.
Oh,
it
going
drops
to
at
drop.
midnight. Yeah.
But I don't remember an artist doing this where they dropped the second of the same album.
It seems very sudden and soon. Why wouldn't you space it out? And you could do this in like the early part of next year.
Or do them together. Or do them together.
I mean, Ariana Grande is kind of doing the same thing with her Eternal Sunshine and then going to Eternal Sunshine Deluxe. Like, artists have kind of been doing this recently.
I have a theory about this, that when you drop this much music, you would generally tour.
Mm-hmm.
He hates touring. And I don't think Justin Bieber is going to tour in the not too distant future and maybe forever. It just is too taxing for him mentally. And he's talked about it. He's been open about it. It really took a toll.
What
in the
about a
Justice
residency
story.
at the Sphere?
That's what I'm thinking. He would be massive.
Millions.
Yeah.
Massive. He wouldn't have to travel. But if you're releasing this kind of music back to back, you got to do something with it because these artists don't make money off of albums anymore.
Well, and he needs the money. We've done reports on how he needs the money. It would help him. It would help him financially.
Well, he couldn't pay Scooter off without Haley selling her company.
Right.
That was the contingency.
Which is another thing.
But Haley sold her company.
Well, another thing with Haley is that she was announcing her road launch at Sephora today. So it's kind of funny that Justin decided to pick today, out of all days, to announce his Swag
But it's
Part
almost
2.
competing.
And like they show each other support on socials by reposting each other's announcements.
But it's almost who gets more attention.
Hello, my name is Sebastian Soto, and Justin Bieber's team is Justin Biebering. How are you going to release a sequel to your album on the day that Hailey Bieber's releasing Road in Sephora? I'm just like, girl, as a pop culture valedictorian, I do want to say thank you because I'm going to deep dive like Dora the Explorer and read all the lyrics to see what is happening. I'm going to study this album like the Da Vinci Code. I think it's exciting, but I do think the timing is a little off. I'm like, girl, why you got to release so many albums that are people really asking for?
Speaking of swag, I love the shirt.
Thank you. I wore it just for you.
Okay, thank you very much. It is that time of the week, folks. It is time for Tim's Rejects. Tim.
What's going on? All right, so Harvey, I have an activity that you may want to try. So it involves rope jumping. So you have the rope off of a bridge.
I did rope jumping in boot camp.
Okay, well, it's fun, but here's another layer to it. You like water skiing, so put some water skis on your feet there, and you go off the rope there, and you slide across the water with the water skis on.
Okay, I'm not diminishing it.
Okay.
But I don't think that is really that. I mean, I don't think it's super difficult.
You can try it then, right?
Next.
All right, so a PSA when you go to a golf driving range to make sure to hold on to the club all the way through the swing.
Oh, no.
This guy here, he's taking a swing at the ball. He lets go of the club, and it shatters the light above. Luckily, nobody was
That's the thing.
underneath.
I know if somebody was there.
Right, and yeah, luckily so.
I'm doing Topgolf this month.
Oh, nice. Are you going to get some video?
I'm not going to do that, I hope.
Another activity, if you didn't like the rope jumping, how about inner
No, I like the rope jumping.
Well, this is a little bit more, I guess, adventurous, I would say. So you have an inner tube, you have a ramp, you go down the hill, you go off the ramp, off the inner tube, into the water.
Okay, it's the landing that's hard.
Yeah, it's the landing that might be a little bit of a
That would be, boy, you do that wrong.
Yeah, no good, but
Okay,
it turned out okay here,
pass.
so.
Okay, not bad.
All right, see ya.
Very aquatic. Thanks, Tim.
See ya.
There is a report that says that Steve Ballmer, as a way to pay Kawhi Leonard more money, he was going to sneak around the salary cap by giving Kawhi Leonard a $28.5 million endorsement deal, basically a no-show job. He's adamant that that's not true.
Be right back.
This is so interesting. So Kawhi Leonard is a superstar. He plays for the Clippers, and the Clippers is owned by one Steve Ballmer, the richest man in sports. He's worth $153 billion. So they have salary caps in the NBA, and they do it because you don't want to take the richest guy who can just pay anybody else and get a team that you can't compete against.
Right. Who could, if you got owners that are way poorer than Steve Ballmer, they could get all the good players, right?
So
And
they have
can't compete.
so they have salary caps.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer has found a way around salary
Well,
caps.
he says no, though. He's adamant that that's not true, but that's what the allegation is, yes.
Because?
So there is a report that says that Steve Ballmer, as a way to pay Kawhi Leonard more money,
Then he's allowed to under the cap.
Right. So then he can get more players. So he was going to sneak around the salary cap by giving Kawhi Leonard a $28.5 million endorsement deal, basically a no-show job. Here, take this money, Kawhi. You don't have to do a damn thing for it, though.
But it's not for playing. It's
Right.
for this amorphous endorsement.
Right. It was a company called Aspiration. They like plant trees.
But were they going to use Kawhi Leonard's face?
It's unclear exactly what he was supposed to do. He never did anything for this company.
Well, why couldn't Ballmer just say, I'm going to take a picture of you, and you're going to get $28.5 million to work for this company just by posting your picture?
I guess he could. Theoretically, right?
But then there's no way. Then there's no way to limit.
Who's to say? But who's to say what's a legit endorsement deal then? How does that work then?
Well, if they put his picture on that company,
right?
Then that's
what
an
if they say,
endorsement
hey,
deal.
he's worth $28.5 million.
Right.
I mean, who's to say that that's not legitimate? So what Ballmer says though is he says, look, I didn't do this. He says, I don't own this company. I've worked with them, but he says that this is just nonsense.
I kind of love this.
I know. Mark Cuban now coming to Steve Ballmer's defense.
Oh,
so,
of course he did.
Yeah.
I love
You know what he
this.
said? He said that Steve Ballmer's not stupid enough to do this. You know how this happened? The company went bankrupt, so their finances then were out there for everyone to see.
Oh, so the money came from the company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Through
yeah.
a Ballmer-owned company.
It's a Ballmer. He's an investor in the company, not owned. So Mark Cuban, Harvey, says, he says, Steve Ballmer's not that stupid. He goes, he has so much money, he never would have allowed that company to go bankrupt if he was doing something underhanded here.
Shenanigans.
Hi, this is April from Atlanta. Kawhi Leonard is one of the most humble players ever, and I hate that he is caught up in this situation. So I just hope this is not the case because Kawhi's a great guy.
Well, he's a great guy and he's a great player, but I got to say, it's interesting way around the system.
Coming up.
Zoe Kravitz and Harry Styles, we are told, they are friends with benefits. I'm calling BS.
Be right back.
Okay, well, this is kind of putting me in a bad position, but I'm going to take issue with the TMZ story. So our news desk found a story that Zoe Kravitz and Harry Styles, we are told, they are friends with benefits. Not dating, but friends with benefits. So take a look at these pictures. These are them out and about. Arm around her. We have them holding hands. And they are clearly in some kind of a situationship. But this is not friends with benefits. Friends with benefits don't walk around holding hands, arm around each other. They just don't. This is dating. It may be casual dating, it may be non-exclusive dating, but there is a difference, I think, between friends with benefits and dating. Now, I know that the people connected to them are calling it friends with benefits. I'm calling BS.